Hi, everybody. It's Maya Zahira with Psychic Protection Sanctuary, and I decided to go live here in sunny Tucson, Arizona. I wish I was out in nature. I actually have been, but I don't get a good signal out there. So we are indoors for this. But I tell you what, if I could be out in nature to bring you that inspiration and do a Facebook Live, that would be wonderful. But we can't do that today. That's okay. I just really wanted to get on here and connect with you all. Some of you might remember I used to do a lot of Facebook Lives when I was living out in the country in outside of the Kansas City area. I don't think I've done even one Facebook Live on my personal page since I moved here back at the end of November 2019. Anyway, so here I am. I um, I've been posting a lot on Facebook, but I haven't gone live like a lot of other people have because I really needed some quiet time for myself. I know some of you know about 2 weeks ago was a super, super challenging week. So I was honoring self-care, and now here I am. My cup is filled, and I really want to connect with all of you. Um, and I don't have specific notes like I sometimes do. A lot of times I get on Facebook Live and teach something. But I do have some ideas that I want to share. And one thing is I do spend a lot of time on Facebook, and I've seen a lot of posts of people who are really feeling stir crazy and lonely and really like all the shadow stuff is coming up because they're in self quarantine, which most people are right now with the coronavirus issue. So I thought we could get on here, number one, just as a way to connect, because I think connection is really, really important right now. But number two, I'd like to do some brainstorming. I'd like for all of us to do some brainstorming together for how we can manage this time when we're by ourselves, or I know some of you are with family. I personally live alone, and I've been thinking a lot about other people who live alone who might be feeling really challenged because it's like major isolation if you don't have family or roommates that you're living with. But there are other challenges where you're stuck at home with family that you love, but it's like total immersion, right? So let's do a little bit of sharing and brainstorming of like how to manage this time, whether you are really isolated because you're living alone or you're trying to manage like being with family that you can't really get away from, that you love them, but like there's just you're not getting as much space as you normally would, right? Like kids are home from school or what have you, right? So I just want to say hi to everybody first. And while I'm doing shout outs, um, go ahead and share. Do you have like what have you been doing with your home time, with your self quarantine? Um, I was also going to mention I'm a natural hermit. So like when I was living out in the country outside of Kansas City, I would like literally not see anyone for like a whole week, and then I would drive into town, and then I would see people like one day a week. And I would connect with people online, but I had like so much alone time. So this self quarantine period, aside from the reason for it, which is really hard, but the actual self quarantining is easy for me. So that's why I want to just be of support to those of you who are feeling really challenged. I have a lot of ideas of what you or us could do during self-quarantine. But go ahead and share your ideas. Like, have you been catching up on a project, or um, reading books, or binge watching Netflix? What have you been watching? So let's just go ahead and share. And, share anything, like what's been coming up for you. Um, just feel free to share anything. Okay. So while you're all typing, because there's always a little bit of a delay between when you send your response and when I can see it, I'm going to go ahead and do shout outs. And I want to say hi to everybody. Oh, you know what I always do when I do my Facebook Lives in my free Facebook groups? I always have everybody, when we jump on a Facebook Live, I always have everybody say where they're joining from. Because, you all don't necessarily know each other. I might know you, but you all might not know, like, I think it's always interesting to know, like, what state or country everybody is from when you're taking part in a Facebook Live. So go ahead and say where you're joining from. And while I'm thinking of it, I just want to let you know that I do have 2 free Facebook groups. I'm only sharing this with you all in case you're wanting like more support, because I don't really get on and do very much teaching on my personal page here. But I do regular free Facebook Lives in my 2 free community Facebook groups. So if you want more support, you can maybe think about joining those if that's what you want. My personal philosophy is, like, if you feel drawn to something, do it. If you don't, right? I don't want you to join it if you don't want to. The first group is all about living an empowered life and learning how to, like, manage your energy, your spiritual energy, how to develop your spiritual gifts. And it's like a very, it's a very positive and authentic group, really great energy in there. And it's called Spiritual Empowerment Community with Maya Zahira. So if you just do a Facebook search for Spiritual Empowerment Community, you'll probably find it. And then the other group is, really a support group for some of the more intense kinds of issues, like spiritual warfare kinds of stuff. So what I've found is either you're drawn to that or you're not. So just honor that. It's all good. So that the second group is Psychic Protection Sanctuary. And again, you can do a search for that, Psychic Protection Sanctuary. So if you want more support, that's where you would go. And those 2 groups are free. Let's do shout outs. Tell me where you're joining from. Okay. Hi, Lily Silver. Hi, Mindy. Raymond. Hello. Yvette. Hi, Yvette. I know Yvette is in Kansas. I think you're in Lawrence, Kansas, I think. Deb. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Gabriella. Hello. Marlene. Hello, stranger. I haven't seen you since October, the Halloween party. Hi, Rania. Hi, Bobby. Good to see you. Thank you for your kind phone call message the other day. Maureen. Hi, Skylar. Yes. Well, Skylar, I hope your internet stays strong from California. Hi, Sahela. It's good to see you. Oh, Yvette is in Tonganoxie. Yeah. So funny that we connected, Yvette, after I moved to Tucson, because I lived in Tonganoxie out in the country for 2 years and really loved it there. But I need more sunshine and warmth, so I had to move. Okay, so if you've just joined, we're just connecting on here and doing some sharing. And if you would like, go ahead and share what you are doing with your self-quarantine time. Like, are you someone who's living alone, or are you living with a partner or family or what have you? What are you doing with your time? Okay. So some people are organizing their closets. What are you doing? And in self quarantine, actually, I've seen some posts of a few people who are on a regular basis. They're going out into nature, and I think that's amazing. I will be doing that. I think I'm going to stay home this weekend and do some work, but I think I'm going to be going out somewhere out to the mountains very soon. Marlene says, Marlene currently in Rockford, Illinois. Okay. Okay, so Marlene says she's listening to solfeggio. So for those of you who don't know, there are particular sound frequencies that are very healing. And so you can actually go to youtube.com, go to YouTube and type in solfeggio, and it's spelled Solfeggio, I believe. Solfeggio. And I am the winner of the spelling bee. Woo! I think that's right. So you can type in the search bar solfeggio music, and you'll find different frequencies for clearing out negative energy, for raising your vibration, for clearing out stress and anxiety, for helping with immune system and that sort of thing. And you can like play it 24/7 if you want to in your home to help. It's like energy clearing through sound, right? Just a little heads up though, the very first time that I found music like that, I was like, oh my God, this feels amazing. So I was cleaning my house. I was doing spring cleaning and I had it playing for like 12 hours straight. And I ended up getting sick by the next day because it was a spiritual detox. So if you're brand new to listening to music like that, just play like, if you're really, really sensitive, just play 10 minutes and then wait and then play more like later on that evening. If you're not, if you wouldn't consider yourself super, super sensitive, like play an hour and then wait until the next day. That's my recommendation because I literally caused a whole detox. It's just the same as if you do like an herbal detox for yourself. If you've ever done that, or a juice cleanse or anything like that, then like by the second day, a lot of times you're feeling yucky because all the toxins are leaving. Same thing, the sound healing music, the solfeggio frequencies are really powerful but awesome. Now I can listen to it for hours and hours and hours, but it was like 10 years ago I made myself sick. So I always warn people with that. So back to Marlene. Thank you for providing that teachable moment for me to share the solfeggios because I've been listening to those as well. Marlene says she's also Facebook scrolling, relaxing with no sense of having to do anything, concentrating on raising vibrations and loving it. Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Marlene, for sharing that. Skylar says that they have roommates. Went for a hike yesterday. That's awesome. Cool. Hi, John. Marlene says, yes, yes, you are the winner. Yeah, I was always really good with words and with spelling, but horrible with numbers. So if I had to do a math problem on here, I would have gotten a great big F. Yvette says, I can definitely be a hermit too. Organizing for sure, LOL. Just came in from sitting in the grass. Warmth, it's 40-ish there in Kansas. I have been listening to the same frequencies, the solfeggios. The Goop Lab has some cool, let's see what else we got, episodes on Netflix. Ooh, the Goop Lab. Is that a comedy? Or what kind of show is that? Because I haven't heard of that, and I'm looking for some uplifting comedy. So yeah, and hey, you guys, as we're sharing, what are your uplifting Netflix recommendations or Prime Video or whatever? I'm a big believer that uplifting things, things that are uplifting actually do help your immune system. It's not just that I'm a believer. I mean, like, that's scientifically proven. So whenever I've been sick in the past, I will switch away from, I'll very intentionally switch away from watching like movies that are like really dark or that might be interesting otherwise, but it's like I don't watch any of that. It's like a comedy binge fest when I've been sick with something, and it helps raise your vibration, it helps lift your mood, and it boosts your immune system too. So anybody have any good funny Netflix recommendations? Let's see here. Oh, she also, let's see. Yvette also says, the Goop Lab has some cool episodes on Netflix. A really great one on Wim Hof. I'm not sure what that means, but that's okay. Or maybe it's autocorrect. I don't know. I don't know what that is. That's okay though. Hi, Danny. Marla says that I play it as my guests arrive at my vacation rental. So the frequencies, sound frequencies. Hi, Tana. Good to see you. Sahela says, living with my hubby, Daryl, and going for walks at the lake and hiking in the forest. Ah, yes. Nature girl. Or earthing. That's having bare feet on the grass, on the ground. And gardening in my yard. Otherwise, we only go out if we need food or if Daryl has to print off work. Oops. Oh, no. There we go. If Daryl has to print off work at the office by himself. I'm really isolating a lot. We are not seeing any friends or family, keeping as far away from people as we can. Yep. Yeah. You know, I want to just share a perspective before I read more comments. So I get it. This is a really scary time. It can be. I know it's feeling really scary for a lot of people. I've had some moments, some waves where I've been like, oh crap. But most of the time I'm feeling like the self-quarantining it's like it's a proactive thing. So we're not quarantining because everyone has it and we have to stay home. It's that we are preventing it from spreading more than it has, right? So it's like it's a positive and proactive thing that we're doing by doing the self quarantine, keeping it from getting as bad as it would have. So I think that any proactive action is a good thing. And then of course, it gives us the opportunity to go within, and all of that stuff. But anyway, all the self quarantine, I know that some people are feeling like I think some people have the perspective, and it makes sense because there's a lot of scary stuff out there on social media. I think there are people out there who have the perspective that we're under self quarantine because it's already really widespread, but it's not. It's not yet. According to, like, here in Tucson, there's, I think, just a couple of cases, right? So we're staying at home to make it so we have fewer cases so it doesn't spread as much. So feel good about the fact that you are helping keep those who are more vulnerable health-wise from getting it. The elderly, the immunocompromised. So you're doing a really, really good thing by staying home. Okay. And for your own benefit. I mean, even if you're not immunocompromised, I think I've missed some comments here. Even if you're not immunocompromised, I mean, who wants to get the virus? I mean, even if it's not going to kill you, it doesn't sound very fun. So it's good prevention as well for yourself. But if you are a strong, healthy person, mainly you're doing this as an act of kindness and solidarity for those who are more vulnerable. So thank you for doing that. Yvette says, lifestyle. Oh, they have episodes on intuition, energy work, healing, and I loved the one on Wim Hof cold plunging. Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. All right. Cool. All right. So it's a lifestyle show that she was mentioning, not a comedy. Cool. Okay. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Tana says, hello from Kansas City, Missouri. Zahira says, we are continuing with our burning sage and later frankincense, our protocols and protection grids. And Zahira is referring to some processes that I teach my students in my online program, and that program is called Spiritual Empowerment Academy. And if you are interested in learning all sorts of tools, then you can find out more about that on my website, psychicprotectionsanctuary.com, psychicprotectionsanctuary.com, and under the events tab, you'll find the Spiritual Empowerment Academy. And Zahira is in that, as well as several others, Tana, and I forget who else is here on the Facebook Live. And by the way, I think Zahira and Tana and whoever else is here who is in the program, we're having an extra Zoom video class tomorrow night for all the members of my program, just for extra support and connection. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of you then. Those of you who are just on my Facebook, we're getting connection right now. Hi, Lauren. Danny says, I stay inside, I get fresh air, sunlight when it's warm, and claim my protection and health with God. I choose peace. Yes, I love that. Hello, Rose. Good to see you. Skylar says, I downloaded a bunch of uplifting books. I've been replacing social media time with books. It's so important to limit that time. It can be overwhelming. Yeah, I think everybody's different. It kind of depends on what's showing up in your social media feed, because there can be a lot of uplifting stuff on there and connection, right? But yeah, it can be overwhelming seeing all of the stuff about the virus. I think it was like yesterday I was scrolling through and I was like, yeah, I need a break. So I hear you, Skylar. You also reminded me of something that I did yesterday. I sat down, I took my laptop. Remember, I live in Arizona, so it's warmer here, even though it's March. Took my laptop out onto my patio and I spent about an hour. I messaged like 20 different people that I wanted to connect with, or that I was thinking about, or that I was concerned about, and just sent a message to every single one of them, and some of them were available right then, and so I was having conversations with like 5 different people at once, and so intentionally using Facebook Messenger to connect with people, see how everybody's doing, and so one of my little things that I'm going to share is that this is a really, really good time to connect with other people online. Phone calls, Facebook Messenger, video formats like if you do Zoom or FaceTime or whatever it is that you use, the people in your family that you haven't connected with in a while, your friends that you haven't connected with in a while, or even maybe writing a letter. If there's somebody that you want to write a letter to, now's the time, right? Because we were previously so busy going out and doing activities that we weren't making maybe enough time for those other connections. So now it's time to do that. Marlene says, on Amazon Prime, A Place to Call Home. Very binge-worthy. Cool. That sounds inspiring. The title sounds inspiring. Zahira is giving hearts. Thank you, Zahira. I love you. Hi, Rhonda. Skylar says, a family member of mine does have it. It's tough. Okay, does have the virus. I have to agree, it's good for everyone. Yeah, I actually know a couple of people long distance who have it, and they are young, not little kids, but they are adults who are not, so they're not elderly. And they seem to be doing pretty well. So, and they're, of course, quarantining right now. Um, I have some family members that I've been concerned about too, and so it's important to reach out to those people, make sure that they don't have to go out at all, if possible, that they can have family members bring things to them, leave it at the door, groceries and so on, so that they can reduce their amount of time going out. Sahela says, yes, great classes and groups. Yeah, thank you, Sahela. Um, Marlene says, watch. I think that's Michaela Sheldon, wonderful channeler. Okay, cool. Thank you for the suggestion, Marlene. And just want to say hi to Elizabeth, Kathleen. Um, I hope I don't mispronounce your name. Is it Nikala or Nikala? Either way, it's a beautiful name. People mispronounce my name all the time. So, and it's spelled Maya, and people say Maya or Myra. So I always feel bad when I mispronounce people's names. Hello, Linda. Good to see you. So right now we're sharing some things that we are doing during self-quarantine. What are you doing? What are you watching on Netflix or YouTube? Or what projects are you engaging in? What are you doing? So I'll go ahead and share, since we don't have any more comments. We might have some more comments coming in. We'll see. I'll go ahead and share some things that I've been doing. So let's see. I already mentioned that I was intentionally connecting on Facebook Messenger, and I plan to have a couple of phone calls this weekend with people. I've also been organizing my home. I've been doing the nesting thing. And so I'm living in a temporary place, kind of a long-term temporary, because I've got about 8 more months here. But I'm taking time to like go through, and I actually got rid of a ton of stuff before I moved cross country from Kansas City to Arizona. But I'm still going through and getting rid of little bits more to prepare way ahead of time for when I do move, which will be out in the country, I hope, because that's where I need to be. I'm a nature girl. So I've been doing that, and there's this funny thing. I was joking with my neighbor because she comes up to the edge of my fence when I'm out on my patio, kind of like Wilson, or is that his name, Wilson on Home Improvement? Remember that show from the 90s, I guess it was? She'll come up to the fence, and like the last couple of days, she's getting ready to move, and I've also been like organizing my place. And so she's getting rid of stuff and I'm getting rid of stuff. And so like today, it's so like the last couple of days, it's like, oh, here, do you want this? So we kind of do this little exchange over the fence. Here, you take this. Here, you take this. What else have I been doing? I have been taking my laptop out onto my patio and reading Kindle books online. And I've also been doing, the last couple of days, been doing a lot of catch up on my office work, because the week before I didn't work hardly at all because I had a personal issue that came up. And speaking of that, it just so lines up with the timing that with the personal issue that happened about 10 days ago, that I'm needing a lot more quiet time and alone time in order to just process what happened. And so it's perfectly aligned with being at home and being quiet. So like that has lined up pretty perfectly for me. I am planning on going to the grocery store today or tomorrow because I want to get a little more stocked up. And then, but besides that, I'm staying home. So, what are you all doing? One thing I did was I watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I had it on DVD, so I pulled it out. I hadn't watched it in years, and mainly I was needing to kind of numb out at times after the little personal tragedy that I had a couple weeks ago. And for me, comedies are really helpful, but also stories about, so like heroes' journeys. Hero, that's what I want to say. Heroes' journeys. The hero's journey, a story that has to do with the hero's journey. And so in this series, it's all about Frodo. He's the hero going on this epic journey. And I always find those kinds of stories, those kinds of books and movies to be really inspiring. And I don't know about you, but like I'll feel my own power coming back to me if I have gone through something that has felt deeply disempowering. Than watching a movie about a hero's journey. It's like I will feel my power coming back to me. That's a tool that I utilize. Um, and Yvette says, I ordered your book hoping it arrives tomorrow. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you ordered it and it's perfect. So I wasn't going to show my book because I'm on here just connecting with you guys, but I think in context, I am going to go ahead and show it. And it's Darkness Disguised as Light. Whoa, there's a lot of glare. The Hidden Truth About Psychic Protection and the Illusion Matrix. Darkness Disguised as Light. You can get it on Amazon. And the book is not for the faint of heart. So if you're needing something like really easy and light because you're struggling right now, don't read that right now. Okay. But if you want to go deep into some spiritual stuff and like go down a rabbit hole of truth, then that would be a good book to read. So depending on where you're at emotionally right now. And Yvette and I had talked about the book before, so I think it's absolutely perfect for you right now. Lots of good tips for protecting yourself spiritually as well. And that you just also reminded me that I think we are all really, really blessed right now that delivery companies like Amazon are still in operation. So if there's something that you can't get locally, you can still order it. I think we're just so blessed and so lucky that we are able to do that right now. So thank you, the powers that be, that we have that ability. Yvette says, yes, I had to wait a little, to get it. Yes. And Zahira says, you'll love it. Cool. Thanks, Zahira. Okay, I kind of think we're winding down. Let me just go ahead and share whatever other message is coming to me. And I will in just a moment because we have one more comment. Lauren says, hey, thanks for going live. I have decided today to start my self-isolation, and I'm using it as an opportunity to clean and organize. I also wanted to dedicate some time to learn more about... Oops, come on. Oh, darn. It always messes up. Let me read the rest of the message. Okay, to read more about mystical stuff. I am very ignorant on this topic, so my wording will be awkward. I have been called lately to learn more about astrology, symbols, numerology, and be more intentional about what enters my mind, body, and spirit. I started this journey while I spent 2 years as a live-in volunteer in a liberal Catholic monastery. Oh, that sounds cool. I was raised Catholic. That sounds awesome. In Kansas, learning about mystical stuff like St. Teresa of Avila. Wow, that's awesome. I work with Saint on a spiritual level. I work with her because she's really powerful. Saint Teresa of Avila. And for those who don't know, Saint Teresa of Avila was a mystic, and she experienced a lot of spiritual warfare in her life as well. So she knows about on the other side where she's at now. She has a lot of knowledge. So that's one reason why I try to connect with her. So that is so awesome. I love that you were learning about her. I've not come out with many people until now, but women, including me, on the maternal side have spiritual gifts. I guess to keep it short, I need a next step. Hey, Lauren, I don't remember if you're in my free groups or not, my free Facebook groups. Forgive me, I don't remember who all is in the groups because there's a lot of people in there. But if you're not already in there, I think that would be a good next step. So, and this is good to just remind everybody else if you want more support, because I don't go live very much on my personal page here. But the two groups, the first one is very like uplifting and personal empowerment and developing your spiritual gifts, and that's called Spiritual Empowerment Community with Maya Zahira is the full name. Spiritual Empowerment Community. And the second group is more intense kinds of content about spiritual warfare. And so some people will be interested in that. Some people not. Honor where you're at. The second group is Psychic Protection Sanctuary. And both of those groups are free, and I get on and do free Facebook Lives in both groups. So if you want more, go there. I'm more active on there. So, or send me a message and let me know how I can support you, because I think everything that you're talking about is really all of the things that I help people with. So definitely stay connected, right? Okay, so hi Janice. We have a couple more comments. Sahela says, we're going through all our old videotapes, separating them into keeping and transfer, donate, or recycle. Really enjoying watching our old performances and seeing people in the videos from long ago. That's awesome. Very cool. And Angie is here with us as well. Hi Angie. So I think we're winding it down. I'll go ahead and share a message, and if any other messages come through, I'll go ahead or if anybody else posts a message, I will share that as well. So let's see. I'm just going to tune in a little bit. All right. I think the main message that's coming through is to honor yourself, honor your process. So, for example, if you have moments where you feel overwhelmed or scared or stressed or overly isolated or lonely or any of that, there's no need to make yourself wrong for feeling those things. So honor whatever is coming up for you. It's all okay. If you're feeling good and you're feeling hopeful and you're feeling balanced and secure, then that's okay too. So honor where you're at in the moment. And so accepting and not needing to judge where you're at, how you're feeling. So acceptance and flow. And at the same time, also with honoring what's coming up for you. Another aspect of that honoring is to listen to what your needs are and do it. So if you're needing to sleep a lot, then honor that. If you're needing to sleep at certain times, honor that. If you're needing a nap every day or on a particular day, if you're like, oh, I'm just so tired, or I just want to be unconscious for a while because the energies just feel like too much, honor that, right? If you're needing to just zone out and watch some mindless stuff on TV, There's no judging that. Like, sometimes we have to do that and like purposely tune out so that our system can just have a little bit of a break. So if you need to binge watch or just zone out, uh, do that. That's okay. If you need to eat a heavy meal, now you don't want to do that for like months in a row because then you'll be putting on like 20 pounds, right? But if you need to, if you're like, man, I need to sit down and eat a big meal. I did that the other day, and I've noticed that when I've been grieving a loss, which is part of what I went through a couple weeks ago, sometimes I'm needing like extra grounding. So since then, I've had a couple of meals that were like really, really healthy, but they were like really big and like grounding meals. And I just needed to do that and sit in front of a movie and watch Lord of the Rings trilogy. Like, that's okay, right? So, like, give yourself grace, okay? Um, if you haven't been getting outside enough, get yourself outside. Like, honor your body. Are you getting sunshine? Are you getting fresh air? And notice if you are accidentally or maybe even on purpose slipping into some mindsets that are not good for you. You don't need to judge it, but you might be like, for example, some people when they're scared or having uncomfortable feelings coming up will self-isolate even more. And not reach out to friends online and not get out into nature if that's something you can do. So they'll self-isolate even more and then make themselves feel worse. So if you're accidentally or on purpose slipping into that overly self-isolating, then again, give yourself some grace. It's okay that that's what was happening. There's a lot of feelings that are coming up for people, and that's okay. Like if you've slid into something, say, okay, I don't need to be in such extreme self-isolation. Who can I reach out to, or can I go outside, stretch my legs, get some fresh air? So really, just give yourself grace, honor your process, whatever that is. Okay, we're all going through this differently. Everyone has different circumstances. Some people are living alone. Some people are living with others. Some people are more vulnerable to the virus than others. Despite all of that, we all have different emotions and feelings and responses, and there's no comparing. We're all unique, and from minute to minute, you might notice that you're feeling different. You might be feeling fine one minute, the next minute, you're feeling overwhelmed. Then when that happens, just listen to what you need. What do you need to do for yourself? Some of you already know that taking some deep breaths, just taking the simple act of taking 3 slow deep breaths and then going and getting a glass of water and drinking that water, like those 2 things can help shift you. And I know a lot of people don't really pay attention to those things because they're so simple. It seems like it wouldn't make a difference. But those 2 very, very simple things help a lot. So 3 slow deep breaths and go and get a drink of water. Like, that's it. That can help you a whole bunch. Okay? So I think we're all done. I don't think there's anything else I'm going to share for now. Just take good care of yourself. Remember that the self-quarantine is about protecting yourself, but also about helping prevent the spread of the virus to people who are vulnerable. So you're doing an act of solidarity, an act of kindness to all the rest of humanity by doing that. So thank you for staying at home as much as you can. and remember to reach out to others. So, hi, Jessica. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Angie. I think we are all done. I'm pretty sure I'm going to hop on at some point and do Facebook Lives in my free Facebook groups, Spiritual Empowerment Community and Psychic Protection Sanctuary. So if you do join those, then you can expect I'll be talking about different things than what I talked about here on my personal profile. Also, a heads up, if you try to join the groups, I'm really strict about who's allowed to join, and you have to answer the 3 questions that pop up, and I have to know that you actually want to be there, that you have to put forth a tiny bit of effort in order to join the groups. Because because I work on keeping the vibration and the energies in there really, really good. So just a heads up on that. Lauren says, it's trippy. You are literally saying my next thought. Thank you. You're welcome, Lauren. Very good to connect with all of you here today on Facebook Live. Lauren says, thank you for the validation. You're welcome. That's so powerful, validation. Zahira says, take care, wonderful Maya. All right. Well, Zahira, I'll see you tomorrow night. We're having an extra class for our Spiritual Empowerment Academy, my paid program, where everybody's going to be able to hop on there onto video. We'll all see each other and we can connect and get support that way. Tana says, stay well, all. Yes, everybody. Prayers for peace and health and vitality and for ease and grace on the planet right now. Thanks, everybody, for being here, and I will see you next time, whenever that may be. Be well.